What is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video at hand, and today I want to talk to you guys about what I consider to be some of the best ways that you can organize your video game collection and your game room. Now, of course, these are all my own personal opinions, so your opinions may vary depending on what I share and discuss in this video of what you may or may not consider to be some of the best ways to organize your game collection. But if somebody were to ever ask me, hey Nate, what are some great ways to organize my game room or my game collection? These are the things that I would point out to help with that exact topic. So of course, in this video, I'll be showing you exactly how I organize my collection and how I've got things arranged, and hopefully give you guys a few pointers on what you guys can do with your own collections and game rooms. So without further ado, let's dive right into this video subject and take a look at what I consider to be some of the best ways to organize a video game collection and a game room right after the intro. Alright, so I'm going to start things off by talking about one of my favorite ways to organize my game room and game collection, and that is having all of my games alphabetized and numerized. So what do I mean by this? Well, what I like to do with my collection is usually I start it off from the letter A and have the end go all the way down to the letter Z. And then after the letter Z, usually if a game starts with a number in the title, then I'll do it from, like, say if some game is called 1 or whatever, right? And say there's another game called, I don't know, 2002. I'm just making up titles here. I would do is then put it numerically in that order. So of course, it just makes things so much simpler for me to find some of my games here in my collection. So if I go right here to my Nintendo Switch collection, and if I want to play Animal Crossing New Horizons, it just makes things so much easier for me to find a game right here in my collection. Now, of course, I have seen collectors where sometimes they won't necessarily alphabetize their games. Sometimes they'll just do is they'll organize games by genre, or they'll organize games by the series that they play, right? So like, let's say right here, you've got Super Mario, and then you've got Sonic, or say you've got Legend of Zelda right here. Obviously, those are not alphabetized or whatever, but if it makes sense to that said collector, you know, good for them, you know. Obviously, different approach of what I would personally do with my game room and game collection, but if it makes sense for you, go for it. But of course, for me, it just makes things so much easier for me to locate a game, and it just helps me too whenever I log my collection on my phone. It makes it easier for me that, you know, I don't accidentally buy a duplicate title. So hands down, this is easily one of my favorite ways to organize my game collection, is having everything alphabetized in the game room. All right, and this is what I consider to be another thing that I consider to be one of the best ways to organize your game room and your game collection, is the shelving that you use. Now, with all of my shelving right here in the game room, it is all custom made. That is right, I built all of these shelves by myself. Unfortunately for me, when I was trying to find shelves that allowed me to adjust the shelves up and down or whatever, I just could not find any online that were good whatsoever. I found one several years ago from Walmart, and it just felt like it was just so poorly made. I felt like if you were to throw a pen or a pencil at it, the whole thing would just come crumbling down, and it just wouldn't work. Yes, I realize a lot of collectors like the Billy bookshelf, but for me personally, with my game room goals, you know, I want to be able to do, like, if I want to put Sega Saturn games right here, I want to be able to move these shelves up and down in case I need to make the extra room to do so. So I literally went out of my way to build these shelves by myself, and that is exactly what I did. And I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty happy with these shelves, except for the ones that I've got right here in the middle of the game room. It's a very long story, but I'll give a little video link that you guys can check out right here if you guys really care about why I was displeased with some of these shelves right here in the middle of the game room. But the other shelves that I built, I feel like they came out perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever. Pretty happy with what I did right here in the game room. Now, of course, you guys don't necessarily have to build your own customizable shelves or have shelves where you get to move like the different shelving up and down. But, you know, I think if you are somebody that plans to collect a lot of different video games that come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, you know, I do think that is something that is worth considering in the long run, is because if you decide to have a big Sega Saturn collection one day, or like a collection where it's just all loose cartridges, those are very varying shapes when it comes to some of those games. And I think having shelves that allow you to adjust the different shelving is essential to that type of collection. Now, another way that I consider to be one of the best ways to organize your game room and your game collection are these storage bins right here. I am very pleasantly surprised at how well they have worked out for me in organizing my game collection, and I really like them is because they're stackable, they're very quick, they're very easy to access. I really enjoy these storage bins. Now, right here, as you guys may or may not be able to tell, I've got them separated by the different types of controllers, cords, accessories, whatever, to allow me to get quick and easy access to when I decide to either hook a game console up or get a certain controller or whatever the case may be. I really like these things. For example, like right here in this storage bin, I've got all kinds of different controllers right here. Here is one of my Wii Classic controllers. And then right here, I've got a PlayStation 1 DualShock controller. I just think that these are so well. I feel like these are hands down one of the best storage bins that you guys can use for your own personal game room and game collection. Now, in the video description, I'm going to give an Amazon link that you guys will be able to see and check out, so that way you guys can easily find these exact storage bins. Now, of course, you guys don't necessarily have to organize your controllers, your accessories, your cords using these exact storage bins. But of course, if somebody were to ever point me out to what I consider to be one of the best ways to organize your controllers, accessories, whatever, I would always recommend these storage bins right here. I feel that they are just so great to use. I love how easily they stack on top of each other. These are hands down what I consider to be one of the best storage bins that you can use, not just for game rooms and game collecting, but just organization in general. I cannot recommend these bins enough. Now, this is something that I consider is absolutely essential if you're going to have a game room. It just makes things so much easier in accessing different consoles to play on, and that is having a system selector. So what do I mean by this? So this is one that I've got unopened as of right now, and as you can see right here, this is where you plug in your composite cables, your AV cables right here, and then you plug it into the TV, and then there's more right here. You've got input 1, input 2, input 3, and what you can do is you can hook up multiple game consoles to this thing. So say, for example, let's say I want to play Nintendo 64. I've got it hooked up here, PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, or whatever console of choice that you may have, and then you just select it right here, and it just makes things so much easier instead of unplugging, plugging back in, and all that wonderful stuff when it comes to hooking up game consoles and all that. Makes your life so much easier. Of course, you can get some with HDMI connections as well. I'm going to link a few of my personal favorites down in the description down below, again from Amazon. Of course, I'm just using this one as an example just because this isn't hooked up to a TV as of right now at the moment, so it would just be a gigantic hassle for me to basically unconnect everything, show you the exact ones that I'm using in the video. But of course, again, I'll make up for it by sharing some Amazon links in the video description. Make life so much easier for you guys. But of course, if you're going to have a bunch of game consoles that you're going to want to play on, especially ones that you want to have quick and easy access to in your personal game room, you got to have one of these. It's just going to make things so much easier, so much organized, and trust me, you will thank me later if you decide to pick one of these things up. Just makes things so much easier for you. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. Please be sure to check out these videos here, and here. After all, I post a lot of content when it comes to game collecting tips, and other video game related subjects. So be sure to keep an eye out every Monday and Friday where I upload consistently, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.